Ever started a project, laid down a few ideas, then got frustrated and started a new one? Every producer's done it, but when you don't finish beats, they don't get uploaded, sent to artists, or heard by anyone. In this video, I'll show you how to break that cycle and come up with new ideas fast so you can actually finish your beats. I used to struggle with this too, and now I finish every single one, and I've made way over 1,000 beats. I'll cover everything from mindset to melody techniques to cheat codes that guide you through the process. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so before we even add the first note, there's always this pressure to make something good. We compare ourselves to the best beats out there, and it's even worse creating content, knowing people are gonna hear it. I feel that pressure all the time, but what helps me is realizing that it doesn't even matter. People are way too wrapped up in their own lives to care if they don't like one of my beats. We're just a tiny speck in the universe, and a bad beat really isn't the end of the world. And honestly, good is subjective anyway. I've uploaded tutorials where I personally felt like the beat was terrible, and people have commented saying it's my best work yet. So instead of chasing perfection, I just treat it like a gym session. Even if I'm not feeling it, I'll finish it because every single rep counts, and that's really how you grow. But let's start with the melody. Sometimes I know what vibe I want to create because I might need to upload something to YouTube that needs to be dark. Other times I'm not really sure where to start, so I just pick an instrument and go from there. Like right now I'm going to use a guitar because I just haven't used one in a while. My default BPM is 143 because I'm used to making a lot of drill, hood trap, and trap beats. Let's just pick a scale. I like working in minor scales. Let's just run with G sharp. Now sometimes drawing in that first chord is the hardest part, but instead of overthinking, just click a note in. Sometimes I'll start on the root note, sometimes I'll finish on the root note. Let's just add a chord. So we're just going to skip a note and skip another one. Really basic chord. Then we can just play around with some inversions for the voicing. So let's bring this down. Because it's a guitar, I'm going to bring them out. Maybe I'll bring this one down and then bring this up. Get the bass in as well. And then to decide the next chord, I usually just listen to what sounds good. So there's some common progressions that we could go. It could be the bass notes or even just those two. So now I'm hearing some passing notes. Let's try this. Alright, so that sounded pretty good. Let's randomize the velocity. I'm going to copy that and then switch something up here. Maybe we could bring this middle note up. So then we've got the same chord, but the voicing's different. It's just going to give it a different sound. Could bring these up too, or just this one. So I'm liking that. Let's copy it again. And then maybe in this one, we could bring this up. And we could add another note here. Then we could just switch it up right at the end. And then from here, let's see if we could change the key. So now we've got a bit of a different vibe. Nice and catchy, nothing too crazy. I'm feeling it. This hyper chorus sounds sick. Let's just bring down the mix though. Let's go for some play reverb. It's because I always use the whole one. Just add in a bit of delay as well. Just got it on quarter with the mix down. So at this point, I've got the main chord progression. I've got a bit of a counter melody, but I think it needs a main top line. And a lot of people get to this point and feel pretty stuck. They might draw in a few chords and not really know where to take it next. So I'm going to show you a few techniques to overcome that. First one is to just use notes that are already within the chords. For example, if we start something up here, I know that we've already used B down here, so we could use it again up here. Also used F sharp and C sharp. So we could do something like this. And even just repeat that, just keep it catchy. And then look at what we've used down here. So instantly we've got a top line that works, so we didn't really have to think too hard about it. I'm going to mute that top line a second because I want to show you a tool that was released recently to help you in these situations. And that tool is Moise's AI Studio. So this tool is crazy because it's going to use the context of your idea to generate new stems to fit the vibe. Think of it like having a co-producer or a session musician that's right next to you. You'd come up with the initial idea, then they'd add to it. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just going to export this. I've imported my idea. If we go over to the right, we can click stem generation. Now we can choose from drums, bass, guitar, or others, such as violin, strings, lo-fi keys, and electric piano. Now I want a top line to this guitar, and we can either choose the vibe that we want or just click AI match. Let's go with AI match just to see what it does. And if you wanted to, you could get more creative control and adjust the conditioning, the context, and the harmonic strictness. But I'm just going to let it do its thing for the first one. It's going to use one track, but before that, I am going to select the BPM along with the key B minor. Let's also generate a guitar solo, and then we'll add a custom, and we'll pick our best one. Let's type catchy nylon guitar lead with subtle articulations. I just want to see if we can add a human touch to it. And all of these are generating ideas from scratch. It's not just pulling in loops from a library of sounds. It's actually listening to your idea, then adding to it. Okay, let's see what it's done. I'm going to mute the first two. We'll just play one at a time. That's actually crazy. That is mad. It's got the chords and everything. I didn't write these chords. Moises has actually detected each one. It's only two, but still. I think this one is too similar to mine though. Let's try the solo. This could work, but it might be a bit too distorted for what we need. Yeah, this one's probably a bit closer to what I was looking for. Let's generate another one of those. And another AI match. Let's try an acoustic strum too, and then R&B, why not? Ooh, that little bit there is kind of hard. I don't like the first section. What we could even do is cut those out. We'll go into edit, and then just silence these parts. See what I'm saying? Now we've got a nice little top line. Let's try a violin too. I'm just going to generate like 3 just to see which one I prefer. And then a bass. We'll go electric and hip hop. Because I'm thinking in the beat, I might have one section where there's a live bass guitar, and then we'll switch it to the 808. It's not bad. It's a bit trippy sounding. Not bad, but not really what I was looking for. These are kind of hard though. They might work in one part, you know. See how the basses just matched it perfectly? That's wild. I'm gonna try upright acoustic. That might match the vibe a bit more. That's kind of hard. Right, so out of everything, I'm going to keep the guitar sliced and this custom one. And then I think I like this upright bass. This is mad. So this is a good use of AI because it's not just doing everything for you. You have to input your idea. And also it's ethically trained, which means any musicians that were involved in training it were compensated. So let's export it. I want to go WAV and the individual tracks. It's only going to export the ones I haven't muted. So I've just pulled them into FL. I've linked the 2 new guitar melodies to the main one so that they share the same effect chain. And then I just brought some highs out the acoustic bass. And now we've got a melody that's almost done. Got one pan to the left and one to the right, and then I added this compressor to tie it all together. So if you're stuck after your first idea, then why not try something like this instead of closing your door? Because people use phrases all the time, people use session musicians all the time. This is just a tool that's there to help you and it's not doing all the work for you. So huge shout out to Moises for sponsoring this video. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. And now that we've got some new ideas, this might be the thing that inspires something else. Like right now I want to add some strings. So I just changed a couple things. Sounded simple, catchy. Almost ready for drums, man. I think it's just missing a bit of atmosphere, so I might want to add some vocals, some textures, and just some accents. Instantly, if we go to Planet Drill, I know in my one-shot kit I've got some nice textures we could use. Maybe this rain one. Okay, next up I just found this vocal phrase. I want to process it a bit. I might chop it too. I might leave that one out. I've added some alter boy to make it sound higher without changing the key. EQ to filter it, pancake to auto pan it, and then some delay and some reverb to give it some space. So yeah, I think the vocals when the violin isn't playing. So this is sounding catchy now. I think we could add some drums. The last thing I'm going to add is some RC20 to tie everything together. But we've already got our own noise. There we go. I think I want to start with a clap. It's one of my favorite snares right now. Let's go to Pyroverse, which is my latest trap and drill bundle. I want to go for some different stuff. Something like that could work. I like this one too. And then let's grab an open hat. Just something simple. Then I'm thinking something like this. And then I'm feeling this one as well. Yeah, maybe that. And then let's grab a hi-hat. And for this type of bounce, I haven't been using a lot of hats. Maybe that too. Copy this and then probably switch something up at the end here. Maybe turn these into slides. Maybe one more and then just fade these out a bit. And then pitch these down. Of course, it's going to be J spins, or just make it a bit shorter and then boost it. And for the pattern, we can just follow the progression of the guitar. To make that bass pattern more interesting, I'm hearing some log drums in this one. So let's add some of these. And we can just use these as some filler notes. And I want to get this snare in as well. Maybe just that, just layering the hat. So what I'm thinking is we can group the drums together. In the first half, we'll get rid of the log drums, and then they can just come in the second half, just for the hook, and in the verse, we won't have them. Then with the kit, we can take some of these out. Actually, I might copy that pattern instead. I still want to add a few more bits, then I'll talk you through the arrangement because I know a lot of people quit when it gets to that point too. We've got this hook section and this would be a verse section. I think I just want to add one of these enders. And then I think something like this at the start. I don't like to overdo it with effects, but I like to add some subtle ones like this. I'm going to add one more thing. Alright, we've got more than enough here. And you might be at this stage where you've added a lot to your beat, but you're just not really sure how to arrange it. And a lot of producers still quit the beat at this point, which is crazy because you've got all of the elements there. So when it comes to arranging, I don't want to say there's rules, but there's some guidelines that you can follow if you're stuck. For example, you might make a 16-bar intro, then you'd have a 16-bar hook, 16-bar verse, and then 8-bar bridge. And arranging is really just about bringing things in and out, building up tension, releasing it, removing a few things here and there, and then just separating the hook from the verse and the bridge. But for example, we might just start off with the guitar. And then I might bring this acoustic bass in. Let's bring these effects in too. Might bring the snare in as well. Let's leave the hat out. When it drops in, it sounds like there's just a bit too much going on. So I'm going to take a few things out. For example, I might take out this guitar, take out this one as well. Let's bring the texture in to keep the vibe going. Let's take the kick out of the first half. And let's take the hats and the open hats out. If I'm making beats that I want to send out, I've got to think about the artist too. So if that high violin's playing plus all these other elements, I'm struggling to hear the pocket for the artist. I usually like to cut the first 2 bars, the drums anyway. So we could do something like this. gonna make this 808 pattern unique. I'm gonna bring this over and just have it slide up. We'll add one underneath it with no velocity, and then we'll just bring it out like this. The second part of the verse can introduce something new, so maybe we'll leave that out. Then I'm thinking we could bring the acoustic bass back in for the bridge, or we'll just take this whole section. One more thing we could try is in the second part of the verse, we could just bring the guitar melody up an octave. Okay, now I'm actually going to render the bridge because I'm hearing a percussion loop in there. And that's another thing that Moises Studio can do for you. So if we import our bridge, we can go to stem separation, go to drums, and then let's just go for percussion. Try that one, try R&B one, we'll try a custom one. We could type in organic percussion with a slow bounce, just because I don't want it to sound too crazy. Alright, so these ones might be close. Actually, I kind of like the salsa one. This one could work, you know. And let's say you only wanted a certain sound from that stem. You could click here and select separate stems. Then you can see you can just select the cymbals, the toms, the kicks, snare, hats, and others. I'm going to export the whole thing. Yeah, I might keep that in. In the intro too, I'm just going to add sound shifter and bring everything down an octave. And we could do the same for the bridge. And then at this point, you can copy everything over. Copy everything over one more time. So you've got 3 hooks. And then after the last hook, you can just take out the drums. And that's a fairly simple go-to way to arrange your beats. So if you're ever stuck on how to arrange everything, you can just follow that formula. Let's have a listen from the beginning. So we've got the percussion in the intro.
Cactus.
Yeah, this bounce is crazy. Melody's mad catchy too. Log drums. This is wild. So now we've got to change with the vocals. And then the other counter melody. Let me know in the comments who you're hearing on this. So I hope you guys are feeling this one. If you want to check out Moises Studio, the link's in the description. Or if you want to watch more videos just like it, then click up here.